right. Welcome to the Dauntless podcast. I think this is episode 11, 12, something like that. I don't know. And we are keeping with the trend of making our most avid listeners into guests. so today I have Julie Dufour.
Hello.
Hello. She's a longtime Dauntless athlete, and Regina White,
Hello.
who is also a longtime Dauntless athlete, but soon to be our newest coach.
Woohoo! Yes.
Are you excited, Regina?
I'm very excited.
What are you most excited about and most nervous about?
Most excited to get to a point where I don't where it runs smoothly and the classes run smoothly and I'm not like all over the place. But I'm really excited to be able to help people in a way that I think CrossFit and Dauntless specifically has helped me.
Yeah.
So and be it, just to be in the next level of the team.
Mm-hmm.
The community.
Yeah. You're already a pillar. I mean,
yes.
I may be partial with 7 a.m. classes and our 7 a.m. energy, but it's okay. I think you already are. But yeah, I get that totally. And Julie, I mean, your next step is being on the podcast. This is pretty big.
Right. This is huge for me. I've always wanted to be here sitting. Since 10 episodes ago, I dreamed of myself sitting right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a bunch of questions that I want to get to, and I know this is like kind of an awkward format, and eventually we'll just, start flowing. So I thought it would be good to start off, just whichever one of you wants to start, just talking a little bit about, nothing crazy, but a little bit about what brought you into the gym and just kind of how you've gotten to where you are now. Because I think a new person coming into the gym might look at the two of you and make some assumptions about, natural athleticism or, been working out since you were 10 years old or whatever.
I love that for us.
That may or may not be true. So, Julie, why don't you start?
I'll start. Well, I first came here when the gym opened because my dear, dear brother-in-law, some of you know him, Elliot Field.
Who needs to get out?
I needed wanted to support the family, honestly. Like, he worked at the gym in Dover, and I never went then. But then when he moved it here, I was like, okay,
I have to be a good
it's
sister-in-law.
local. Yeah, I have to do it. I had no idea what CrossFit was, really no interest in any of it. But I was like, oh, it's a gym that my brother-in-law owns, and let's go check it out. So Eric and I joined. We started coming 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was like,
Did you
okay.
really like it? Like at first, were you just
I had no
have to do
idea
this because it's my
I felt I did feel like I had to, but not necessarily in a bad way because I don't know. I'd done circuit workouts at home for a couple years, and I'd been in and out of Planet Fitness sometimes, never really knowing what to do. So I was excited that someone was gonna tell me what to do and kind of lead me or whatever. But I had that fear that everyone has about working out in front of other people. I was very stressed about that. And that instantly went away pretty quickly. The first couple weeks I was working with a lot of people who were very fit now, which would be me if someone new came in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm super fit now, but compared to what I was, but it was kind of overwhelming.
Working out with Jackie in the early days was very difficult.
It was Jackie, Alicia, and Margot my first class, and I was like, oh my gosh,
so
what am I doing?
Are...
And Margot and Jackie were both at least 6 months pregnant at the time, just absolutely crushing it. So I was okay. Okay. But I started, even before I really loved the fitness aspect of CrossFit and the movements, I fell in love with the community here. I was meeting adult friends. I hadn't made friends since I was in college, and I'm not very close with a lot of people from college. So it was nice to have a local community of people. And then it was the 2019 CrossFit Open. I'd just been coming leisurely, just working out, not trying super hard, showing up right when class start, leaving right away. And the 2019 Open kicked my friggin' butt so hard,
yeah.
And I was
that the one? That was the one where we were Xanthic teams.
Yes.
When we were, okay.
Yeah. Which that part of it, I was like, this is so fun, community, but it kicked my absolute butt. And I was like, I want to be good at this. I want to be good at this sport.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when I kind of took it to the next level of like joining some of the like the clubs that we have here.
Okay, wait. Let's pause there
I
because
know
I
I'm
feel
going
like
deep.
that's where your change point happened. Like you
It
were
is,
coasting
yeah.
along, but it was like a good year then.
It was a great year.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a year before you were like, I'm into this.
A,
So
a
you were
thousand
literally just
percent.
coming to classes because of your brother-in-law and you kind
Yeah.
of getting to know people. Feels good to move. Okay,
Yeah.
so Regina, what brought you into the gym and got to you? And how long was it till you got to a point that you were like, I'm in this?
Yeah. So before that, I didn't know that like that was your purpose for coming in. So
Yeah.
I think that's really neat because I only knew you at
As
the
this,
point where
I'd
you
been here
started to
for a
get
while.
like into your groove and like
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's really cool because
It was very
you're
different.
like one
a
of the
couple
people
years
I've
ago.
yeah yeah. So I'm like different in a sense because I've been into fitness like a good chunk of my life. Like I played
Yeah.
sports in high school. Cheerleader at UMass for 1 year.
Do you have
But
any photos of that?
I was slight. Would you say?
Do you have any photos of that?
Let's see if I can find one. Yeah. Then I went. I was like slightly obsessive with it in some ways, like when in my younger years. Yeah. And then I ended up going to grad school for exercise physiology at UNH. So I started at that time, I started like working at a gym as a trainer. And yeah, like, so I've kind of been in it for so long. Then I decided I wanted to, be into like natural bodybuilding. So I did that. I did some fitness competitions. This is through the years, right? So
like bikini composition, like posing on stage competitions.
Yeah, I did a bodybuilding was like straight bikini and fitness. You have like there's a suit portion, but there's also like a fitness portion, which is like a 2-minute routine that you do, showing all these different things that you can do.
All your moves. Yeah. Oh, like actual like
All your
push-ups and
special
stuff.
skills.
Yeah, like one
Physically
arm
doing
push
things.
ups and like
Oh,
straddle
cool.
jumps and like mobility stuff that like I
That's
came in
crazy.
here. I couldn't do at that point. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. I did that stuff. I really
You should
didn't.
do that here.
I have
Again,
yeah.
are there any photos?
The interesting part about all that stuff is I didn't really like the day of the show. Like I didn't love that being on stage and being in front of everybody, but I liked the training up to it. I liked,
Mhm.
I had friends that did it. We would do it together. Like so it had like a bit of its own little community with it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Except that there's a lot of parts I didn't like after like over the years we can talk about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, talk about it. I mean, because that's going to affect when you come to CrossFit what you think about it, right? So when you were in a community there, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like what was that like?
So I mean, I had really good friends doing it, and there's some of them are still like my closest friends.
Yeah.
Met people through the years. It's wonderful, but the focus is just this. How you look all the time, and like
Lots of
the
looking at
vanity
yourself
of
in the
it.
mirror,
Well, it's
Yeah,
very
and, like-
restrictive too, isn't it? Like the way how you have to be. Like it's a very restrictive lifestyle.
Well, for competition, it is.
Okay.
So if you're gonna do competition, you have like I don't know. I would start like 20 something weeks out and kind of do it gradually.
20
But
weeks, really? Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
but
I've never committed to anything for 20 weeks.
yeah, it was pretty strict with allowing myself a little bit, and then it gets like stricter and stricter, and then like the last 4 weeks are just not fun, and then you look like emaciated. It's not even. It's weird because I look at it now. I'm like, it doesn't even look good. But back then, you think that's what looks good.
Well, and off stage is so different looking, like than on stage. If you look, like when you get all tanned up and you're like under those lights, that same person 2 seconds off stage looks different.
Yeah. So, so I look back at that, and I mean, there's so much learning that I had about it, and getting to a place where I, am now, which is completely the opposite.
Yeah.
And not focusing on that, but like if I was to, like the first competition, I think I told you, like I didn't really know what I was doing, and then like after I binge ate because I was so restricted, it just was so unhealthy. I put on all the weight, but I like swelled up. I was sick feeling. It wasn't really fun. And then I finally got my balance after like a year or two. Like it took a while,
Wow.
Okay.
but still, like being what they called off season, I was like I'm small, and you've met me small, but I was heavier back then.
Mhm.
Was never overweight,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like not. I was never um, like you never feel satisfied. You always
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
struggling to have that perfection again.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you
Totally.
thought you
Yep.
had
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
It just was a
It has to be
yeah.
such a
Right.
strange
That's tough.
mindset to go
Yeah.
back and forth like that. I
Right, to
Yeah,
sort of be
it
like
was.
bulking up and then cutting so restrictively, and you just have these like photos of you at like the most peak moment, like that's like in locked in time and in your memory, and you have that to look back on when you're not feeling like that, and it's the middle of December and
Yeah.
you're feeling lethargic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
reality.
I
It's
mean,
Yeah.
I think
it's
we've.
not healthy. It's not like there's nothing about it that's really great. So I have that's why I say I have good experience because of the relationships I've made through the years, the things I've learned through it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sure, you
and I
learned a
look back
ton
at
through
it
it.
and I'm
So when?
like,
So how long
oh.
ago was the last time that you were doing that? Like, how many years removed are you?
um, like 14 years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just working out in a gym, having your own fitness routine for your own self for several years leading up to coming to Dauntless.
Yeah, so I was mostly doing like the old school traditional bodybuilding,
Mhm.
Yeah,
not
thighs,
necessarily
tries,
trying to
leg
get
day.
huge or jacked but just staying in a rhythm because I did
Mhm.
feel like the strength training for me was good. It kept me
Yeah.
strong and like I enjoyed it. I really always liked that
I
more
love
than
bodybuilding exercises. Like we'll do them here for accessory work. Like I love
yeah.
them.
Did you have a distinct time where you were like, I will never do one of those competitions again, like that you decoupled yourself from it?
I think it was after that last one that I did.
And then
Yeah,
you
when I
yeah.
turned 40, I was like, I'm gonna do a fitness competition and I'm gonna run a marathon. I gotta do all these things because now I'm old.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's what you think. Like you're like, I gotta get, and so
So you did
Now
it
I'm
all,
old.
and then you were like, none of that. Was it freeing to go to the gym knowing that you weren't going for, like, working on your aesthetics in such an intricate way?
yeah, yeah. I think at that point I was kind of at a better place.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
had got healthier. Like my metabolism was in a better place, and
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
So
I ask only because the couple of competitions that I did this year, I just noticed coming to the gym after the competition was over and like knowing that I wasn't going to be doing one or committing to one anytime soon was like such a freeing feeling,
I agree.
even
Yeah.
though my training for it was extremely healthy and balanced and I wasn't doing it for aesthetics in any way.
Right.
So it's like I find it freeing to just like go back to the basics sometimes.
I agree.
Well, even after
Yeah.
the Open, I feel that way. I'm like, I love the Open and look forward to every year, but then it's over, and I'm like, okay, I can like
yeah. 'Cause
chill
think-
with my training for a bit.
yeah. We're like definitely three people that put a lot of pressure on ourselves in those things to perform, and we
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so what got you into the doors for Dauntless?
So,
Circle back.
There's many years of
Now you guys know why these podcasts go
Yeah,
on
yeah,
for
yeah,
so
yeah.
long.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, she has such a rich history of like training and
No,
everything.
right,
It's,
right.
like, so interesting.
Yeah, it was Erin Wolf.
That's right.
Coach Erin.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Gotta get
so
her on the
Erin,
podcast.
I've been close friends with Erin for a while, and she was always like planting these little seeds.
As we do.
Yeah, you should try. She wasn't ever pressuring me. You should try CrossFit. And I kept thinking, I had like, injuries, and I kept thinking like, I don't know the injuries, but I said, I bet if I was younger and it was like they had CrossFit back then, I would have probably been into it,
Mm-hmm.
but I still wasn't there. And then
Can you imagine?
yeah, like 3 years later,
She would have been at the games.
Seriously.
that probably wouldn't have been healthy either.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
who
yeah.
knows? But yeah, like a few years later, I finally got to a place where I'm like, I'm bored out of my tree doing the same thing all the time. Like, I need something different. And so she was here. I decided to start. I said, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to sign up for like the on ramp or on board, whatever we call it, and
Mhm.
do it right. And then similar, I came into class. And it was like Leah and Margot
Yeah.
and Alicia, and I was like,
do I do?
I knew some of them. I
know,
had
we
met
say
them.
we say these names. Let's just, for any listeners who have no idea who those people are because they don't come to the gym anymore, they've had babies and they're, doing their own thing. They, at the time that these two and myself included came to the gym, were like peak fitness. Like they just throw insane weight over their head. Like just so, we love, if you listen, girls, we love you and we miss you.
We miss you, yeah.
Yeah.
But you were intimidating at first.
Yeah.
They were just badasses. I was like, look at these women move, like, but I was impressed at the same time because I wasn't afraid of working out in the gym
in front of
around
others,
people because I had done
You'd done
that.
it, yeah, for sure.
So I was like, all right, don't just do your thing. It's okay. Like coming in and just
But it's still that's another reason like I like here like I'm inspired. I'm not intimidated anymore. I'm like inspired. And I can understand why a new person would be intimidated at first, but there's like no reason to be just
It's so funny to think of someone
throwing
being
that out there.
intimidated by one of us.
I know.
Because nowadays, I mean, I think that they would be. Me, especially on Snatch Day,
Yeah.
obviously.
And back squat day.
obviously.
Girl.
No, but I think so. So you came in through Aaron. I want to make sure you got a chance to finish your story. You came in through Aaron. How long was it until you were like, I'm gonna be an unlimited class membership holder, and like I'm in this. This is my thing now.
Oh yeah. So
because that's where you are. I know that's where you are.
yeah. So
She's like, I still haven't found that yet.
Yeah. I started with 3 days a week.
Yep.
And then actually, COVID hit. So I started in January of 2020.
That's
Please
right.
forget
That's
that.
right. You got cut short.
So COVID hit, but I was like, I can't lose what I'm doing. And my brother has a neat little setup underneath his house, like a separate entrance. He doesn't have barbells, but he's got kettlebells and ski erg and like a ton of stuff, dumbbells. Yeah.
Awesome,
so
man.
I went there every morning and I just found these little CrossFit workouts and I just stayed doing them in between because I was like, I don't want to lose this. And then we came back. So then we came back and I was like, yeah, sign me up. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I got Brian, my husband,
Yep.
to join in the summertime.
Got him addicted real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it? How do you guys like working out with your husbands?
Love it.
Because it's new for me. Only a couple of
That's
weeks.
true.
I mean, we used
Right.
2 years ago, but now we would always go to different classes, really. And now we still will go into different classes. But my husband's been coming for a couple of months, and it's fine. But I don't know. Have you guys had to like adjust anything or change anything in your mind starting to work out with your husbands? What's it
No.
like?
Well, Eric is the most natural athlete on planet Earth, probably. I maybe say
I
that
know,
because I'm
both
married to him, but
Both
like
your husbands are fit too.
he's been an athlete
is
all his
too.
life.
Oh, yeah.
He's always been fit. So like coming here first, like and watching him just like crush it, I was like, oh, this is like so cool. And now like he's way more into golf at the moment, and I'm still way more into this. And so it's now funny to watch it shift where I'm like kicking his butt in workouts before. So it's like it's fun. We like to challenge each other with it, and
I must tell you, I've loved watching that shift myself.
me too.
I've seen
Because
that
I'm not good at golf.
Yeah, well, because we have worked out together for years, Julie and I.
Since the beginning, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so because I joined at the inception of the gym as well, and we weren't always in the same classes, but our paths would cross from time to time.
Yeah.
And I would say we probably both doubled down around the same time. I think you a little bit before me. I really doubled down when we all came back from COVID. And I think that's where like our 7 a.m. impeccable vibes solidified.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've all been consistent now in that same rhythm for a couple of years. But I have watched Julie go from, I remember she'd have the trainer bar with 2 10-pound plates on it, no matter what the lift was.
Yeah. I'm talking deadlift maybe like 55, 65, but oh yeah.
Push the limits. I know. And now we live together all the time. So it's
Still got me beat there, but
it's okay. You're coming for me on the bench press though. But no, I mean, I've watched that as Eric has like focused on other things outside of the gym, that it's like you'll come in and just run circles around him
and he knows it's like he'll
a workout too, obviously, but
oh yeah, some of the ones he's just all power in. I'm like, even if you didn't train for like 6 months, you could come in and like beast this workout, kind of thing. That's annoying, but
Yeah, you can power through a lot of
See, I'm definitely enjoying beating my husband in workouts. There's pretty much nothing better. He came to the gym. He came to the gym years ago. When I started
He was here.
I was here for about a year, and then Michael started. Elliot was like, I think Elliot was frankly desperate to coach some men, because the first year was like all females and Eric.
Literally,
like that was
yeah.
literally, it was like
Okay.
it was like 70 to 30%. Like it was all females. And I think that he was just like, he took one look at Michael and was like, dear God, please come to my gym.
Yeah.
Also,
The potential.
Obviously, he also wants to get people in the gym who like enjoy working out too and are going to be consistent. And
Sure.
Michael was somebody who already had a fitness regimen similar to yours. That's like, he's doing back day, legs day, bis and tris, whatever, you know, chest day every day. And he came and he told Michael to write down a goal on a piece of paper and fold it up and come to CrossFit. It was like some weird deal. It was like, you can come to CrossFit for 6 weeks for free if you come 3 times a week. And at the end of those 6 weeks, if you're not closer to that goal or reach that goal, you like if you aren't, then you don't have to pay me. If you do, then you have to pay me for the 6 weeks. It was like something weird like that.
Yep.
And Michael was like, all right, let's freaking give it a try. And I don't think he even ended up paying attention to the goal, because by the end of it, he was like, yeah, I'm just going to keep coming to class. Like, I don't really, like, I'm just going to buy a membership. So he did that for a while. Then we got engaged and we were saving for our wedding. And Michael pushes himself to go to the gym. So we saved some money for a little bit. But he just re-signed up. And over the summer, we did Murph, and he hasn't come in a long time. And so we came to do Murph, and he did Murph with me, and I ran the first mile, and we were going to run it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I went faster than him. And when I tell you, I have never run faster than Michael Anderson in my entire life. And we've been together forever.
A big, tall guy,
He's a
and
big,
you're
tall guy.
not that tall.
I'm not that tall. I have these teeny tiny legs. I take 3 steps for his every one.
Right.
Yep.
And I beat him back in the first mile, and
That's-
then like beat him by a whole bunch. He was like, "Oh my God, you're so much faster!" He like kind of couldn't believe it. But I'd been going to the gym for
And
2
your
years
cardio's
straight,
been like
and my cardio's gotten
Yeah.
so much better.
crazy. Yeah.
So he's kind of been like, wanting to come back anyway. It's hard going to the musclehead gyms. There's really not a sense of community at the one that he goes to. So
Yeah.
I know he's missing like big lifting sessions and doing that multiple times per week.
Yeah.
But I think the community and the vibes, as I keep saying, like outweigh that for him. But anyway, it's been fun to beat my husband in workouts.
Tell him to come to
You
open
don't
gym.
really get that luxury too often though, because Brian is he's an animal.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to ever beat him. But I did a couple of workouts
I'm
at the
sure
very
you
beginning.
have.
I
It
did.
depends on the workout. It
Yeah.
depends on the workout. But I just know Brian, and I know that he's like, I mean, you got to be one of the fittest guys in the gym.
He's
If not,
very,
the
easy,
fittest.
easy,
He's
yeah.
a very
Like, all
natural
around,
athlete.
too.
Yeah, he's very athletic. Like,
He can do
goes out
everything.
and plays golf, and he hasn't played for a year,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
like crushes it. So, but he bowled. I was like, why is he getting like all of these like what do they call strikes and spares? I'm like, what the heck?
He's so annoying.
Like it drives me
How dare he?
But I think it's been really good for him because he didn't do legs. Like he didn't have leg day, and I was always like, you have to work your legs. Like it's not just upper body.
What is it with men and
I
that?
know, Michael had that problem too.
So yeah, and I didn't. He was apprehensive at first. He was like,
Really?
yeah, he was like, I'm like, I'm signing you up for 3 days. Like tough. Like you're gonna do it.
So
You're gonna
when
try.
you signed up, he also signed up?
No, it was the summer once we opened
After
back up.
COVID,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
So you were coming consistently from like June, July kind of thing, and then he signed up.
January. So I started in January.
I mean, back from COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I signed him up by July or August or whatever.
Okay, cool,
And
cool.
and then he slowly started to. He likes the healthy competition.
Yep.
I don't think
Yeah.
he doesn't.
Yeah, because he keeps
he's
winning.
Well, when he doesn't win though, he's pretty good about it.
He is.
He's the
Yeah.
first person to like other people's workouts on Beyond the Whiteboard.
And not only that, he's the first person. He comes around the gym and fist bumps everybody
I love
like after
that.
the workout. Like I'll still be dying on the floor and like I'll see Brian. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And
Yeah.
then like it makes me. I'm like, oh yeah, I should
Yeah,
go
because
fist
he's
bump
already
everybody.
recovered from the
Yeah,
workout.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna bring that part up, but
Yes.
no, he's always like he's so nice to everybody. Obviously.
Yeah.
So nice.
he likes that. He likes encouraging people.
Yeah.
Like that's a kind of a thing for him.
Do you like working out together?
I do. I love that we like to do a lot of things together, and it's really, and a lot of it's like active things, and it's,
Yeah.
I
Do you
really
guys give
enjoy.
each other feedback with your partners?
I do sometimes.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I do sometimes. I try not to do.
I'm curious because I mean, Michael has not been doing CrossFit, right? So he's coming back, and I have a tendency to like want to say things,
Yeah.
especially certain things like when he comes in and he's working on a snatch, like I want to give him 10,000 friggin' pieces of feedback, but I really try not to and like let Meg or Elliot do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I try to do the same, but
It's
there's
hard to
been
bite your
times where I
tongue.
would be like, just use your legs, or don't stop using your biceps, or
Yeah,
whatever. And
Well,
I do
especially-
the same thing. So it's
Well,
like,
you doing lifting club, and we've like been breaking down just the snatch like so much more. And at the same, even with other people, not even with Eric, I'll be like, oh, I have like 12 notes for this person on their snatch. But I know that's not how you coach someone, or, nor should I be coaching anybody. But just
that's. I mean, do you think that that's helped you to not give Brian feedback going through the coaching experience?
oh yeah. I think in general, like I want to help people because that's my nature.
yeah,
But then I think, just seeing how, like, I've been quite observant of, our coaches. We haven't had a lot lately, many coaches, but I'd say I'm with Meg and Elliot mostly, right?
Yeah.
And quite observant with their coaching and how they coach. And I think that's just, I'm interested in it. So I would be like, oh, it's okay. I see how they say it like this to them, or how they're observant and they walk around, but then they might go up to them, and I don't know. It's just the way they do it.
Yeah.
It's so different than like old school training, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's truly coaching.
right.
And it's like,
What do you mean by old school training? Like yelling at somebody, like
well, not
like
necessarily
fitness
yelling,
class training, or
but I don't know. I think I don't know exactly. It's very different. It's just different.
I mean,
Like-
it feels like there's a real personal touch. I mean, just with
Right.
the way that it's. When I started, it was just Elliot. I think 365 days of the 3 coaches that were here at the time, Elliot coached me like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like it was like easily. And I would come in and he'd have these like little things that he would say to me about, like, I was a dance coach at the time, let's say.
Mhm.
So I was coaching dance also at night every once in a while. And I remember at one point he was like, okay, Shan, it was on some sort of explosive Olympic lift day. He's like, okay, Shan, you know how some dancers go like this and other dancers go like this. And he like really gave it, he's like, that's how you need to, you're snatching like this and I need you to snatch like this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm
I love
working on
that.
that to this day.
But something clicked in your brain in that moment. You're like,
Yes. Something clicked in my brain in that moment. And it's also like, he knows something about me. He knows what's going to resonate with me. And Meg's the same way.
for sure.
Meg's definitely
Yes.
the same way. Elliot's more coming up with like it's as if you are X and describing something else. Like, it's like you're putting on your pants. That's a deadlift. Or it's like you're whatever. Like, it's something else. He's good at those little mind
Analogies,
tricks.
yeah.
And then Meg is so good with all the mechanics. Like, I know that you have tight hamstrings, Regina. Like, she'll know that about you.
Oh, she could
Yes.
look at someone just walking off the street and
Well,
diagnose
true. True.
all their
Yeah.
weak spots.
But she has all those personal touches of like, oh, I know where this person has a weak spot or a tight spot, and I can help them adjust. So I think they both bring their little different air. Do you have a sense of what your coaching style, what you want your coaching style to be?
No, not necessarily yet.
Yeah.
But I think, I did that I did a mock.
Yeah.
one
Mock
yesterday with
coaching?
it. I was
Tell
like,
us.
Do you want? Yeah, please.
Tell us more about this.
it was
please.
horrible. I realized how much, like, how hard it is. Like, I think
So they put a workout up.
he gave me a workout, a short one, and I had to coach Meg and Elliot.
Like warm up, mobility,
Like, they're
everything.
just standing there in front of
But
you as if they're a class.
Yes.
Silent.
Yeah, they came in. They
I
were
would-
like drop-ins. They both had been doing CrossFit.
Like you had to ask them, like you also talk to them about who
it's
they
like,
are.
yeah, it's like, because there's a part of CrossFit that when someone walks in the door, like the greeting, and
Yeah.
like all the little parts, there's all these little nuances to being a coach that even like I don't think anyone really realizes. It's really
Definitely
important to make
not.
people
Yeah.
feel like welcome when they're coming in the
Oh, yeah.
door. I mean, I think that's natural for me, so I'll be
Yeah.
fine
Oh, yeah.
with that stuff.
Absolutely.
Like I try to be friendly to people. But yeah, there's all these little things. You got to get everything set up ahead of time, which I didn't do. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to get the kettlebell. And like,
I see.
yeah, it was like there's a lot. Yeah,
Well,
there's
and
all
people
these
don't.
things.
Yeah, people don't realize too. I think about like the welcoming energy that like a lot of our community members, a lot of our, excuse me, class members, have taken that on, but that's not by accident. I think like
Right.
all of those little
Absolutely.
things,
Yeah.
and Elliot comes in here, Meg comes in here. They have their whole own lives, right? That they've got going on. They might have just gotten out of the car like crying. You never know.
Right.
And then they come in here and like you wouldn't know. So it's a.
Right.
I mean, it's every time that it's come up about coaching, I've thought, should I be a coach? And I'm instantly like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I
Well,
think you'd be a
what
good
made
coach
you
for what it's
decide
worth.
that you wanted to? Like, what kind of tipped you into the edge of wanting to?
Yeah, I really had no intention for the longest time. It never even crossed my mind because I didn't work in kind of fitness for many years, and like I found that I really just wanted to do something that for me and that I enjoyed,
Mhm.
and so it wasn't like, oh, I've got this background, like I think I should do this. It was not at all. Like I was like, no, and I think I don't know. I just feel like Sue
Oh,
Silsby,
Sue.
Sue Silsby.
she kept saying,
Another main character in
Yeah.
Dauntless, whether she likes it or not.
she kept saying, you should do it. Yeah, I think you'd be a good coach. You should do it. And I was like, and it really, like, I was like, no, like, I don't want to do that. And I don't know, maybe it was enough times, but it can't, like, I know we needed coaches. And I was like, well, and then I think, we talked to Meg and a lot about, even after class, before class, like, I've talked to her about how much what she gets out of it. Like, she loves helping people, and I'm like, yeah, it's really neat. I love that. Like, I love that she's
Yeah.
got this passion. Both of them do. Like, I can see when I do a good snatch because of barbell club and how bad it was for it's getting slightly better.
Way better.
That
Mhm.
Elliot, like,
Way
I'll see a little
better.
smile, and I'm like, ooh, I was happy with you.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Well, it's so rewarding to like coach someone and then see that like payoff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, so it helps others, and then it helps you, and then I don't know, I was just like, if I can do this like just part time, we'll see, we'll maybe start small,
Yeah.
and like and I find that I enjoy it, then I can stay doing that. But yeah, I think it's just, I think I want to, my goal is to like be mentored by them, to be mentored by really good coaches,
The
and to,
best coaches.
yeah, and I think this helps, like, be able to help other people, but it'll help me in many ways, like presenting in front of people, like coaching people in life, and just encourage. Like, I love to encourage people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just overall. So,
Yeah.
and not trying to tell people, like, not trying to be bossy or
Yeah,
tell
see,
people what to do.
I think that's where I have tried to like shift a lot of my energy to, is around like I'm really selective with any like coaching that I'm giving to somebody, because one, I shouldn't be coaching anybody, but like when you were saying about how
Yeah.
like you kind of like bite your tongue a little bit more with Brian or
Mhm.
whatever, like I'm only ever giving tips to like you guys, because
Yeah.
I know that you're in a place enough to decide that would work for me, or try it and decide not for me, than somebody else who
Right.
might like hear me say, oh, just get your elbows through, and that's like the only thing they think about on cleans forever, right? Like,
Right,
you
right.
just don't know. So, but I mean, with newer people being encouraging,
Yeah.
to your point, like that's the
Yeah,
thing
'cause
that
new
I
peop-
strike with people.
New people aren't gonna just like be able to nail a snatch. Like they just need to get one part of the snatch correct, like on the first time they do
I
it.
know.
You know, and just
so hard to watch though.
and I know I was that person,
But I was too.
I was that
I was
person,
that
and
person
it feels
too.
like another lifetime. And where because snatching, especially with barbell club, feels like so good to me now and so natural. But it's like the least natural thing in the world, like to do.
It's
so
so
yeah, I'll see a new
So
person, I want to be like, yeah, do this, elbows back, like
I
let
just
this
want to
drive
scream,
here. I'm like,
stop, bending your arms, like, or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
stop curling the bar.
And yeah.
It takes a long time though. I just stopped doing that. Like as far as bending my arms, and I didn't even know I was doing it. And I said,
I'm calling
Elliot,
you out.
I said, Elliot, have I been doing this all along? Yeah. Like,
Yeah. So how was that? So you took the L1. Did the L1? Is that where you like started to break? Have you started to break down some of your own movement tendencies from the L1 or?
not necessarily. Maybe a little bit. We went through some of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I think it's mostly been like barbell club that's
Yeah.
helped. And,
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was
yeah.
saying you were realizing the arm bending in barbell club.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had fixed it maybe slightly before.
We
Like,
really
I'm just kind of
honed in
fixing
on
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm still probably my cleans are still probably bending a little bit, but I'm
Sorry.
conscious of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was the L1? How did you like that? The
It was
training?
it was a blast. It was yeah, it well different coaches, right? But
Mhm.
they do these training sessions, so it was like a different style. Um the learning was like I really believe in CrossFit mindset overall. Like the nutrition is kind of exactly what like the nutrition that they um because everybody's nutrition people like have their own way of doing things and they
Yeah.
fall into you know
Different things work for different
things that
people.
yeah that's what I
But the
was trying to
core
say.
values
Right.
are
Yeah, but even
important.
like the things that they recommend for nutrition, the way to eat, I was like, oh, that's what I do today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
um yeah, the learning was great. I think it was awesome.
Okay.
And
Good.
then I met some friends there,
Yeah.
Every time I go to someplace that's CrossFit competition or
Yeah.
whatever, I tend to meet friends.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's nice to know that you have people that are kind of living a similar, I guess, lifestyle as you are, or will
Like like-minded individuals
appreciate the
almost.
same things, like, or talk when you're talking about like recipes with friends or stuff like that. Like, I'll tell other friends about a recipe I tried, and it's like they're like, cool. Like they do not care.
And here we're like, ooh, like tell us all about it.
Like, but you don't get it.
Like you don't understand. I found a new way to cook this protein, or whatever. It's like farro is good, or whatever. No, but in here it's like we get like new. I actually just for Christmas I got Meg a cookbook about like cooking according to your menstrual cycle.
Oh yeah.
I'm obsessed, and I come
I'm
in
very
here
interested
and
in
I'm
that,
like
yeah.
talking to her about it, and it's just I love it. It's like I've never craved bok choy in my life, okay? And I open up this book, and at the phase that I'm currently at, I open it up, and it was like bok choy sounds so freaking good, and I just couldn't wait to come in. But like, where I don't know is. I go if I told anyone else in my family that who like I don't come from a family that has like a lot of like, you know, nutrition minded people, but like
Sure.
I go to them and I'm like, I was craving bok choy. They're like, what's bok choy?
I would know, yeah.
Hell's that?
Right, but it's nice to be able to have those things resonate, because I also think in our culture, focusing on nutrition and fitness in a slow and steady, knowledgeable way is not really appreciated, and is almost treated like it is an obsession. Like it's sort of like, oh well, you can eat more than bok choy. Like that's what I would be met with. So I think it's nice to be surrounded by people that have similar goals as you, or understand that like focusing on your nutrition as a main goal in your life is a perfectly valid and important thing to do.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are like, oh, you're being too crazy or whatever.
I feel the opposite, and this is a little veering off on the same subject,
Yeah.
but I've also been working with Jackie, registered dietitian, Jackie,
Yes.
for like coming up on 3 years, I'm pretty sure. And like doing that completely changed my relationship with eating and food in like the most positive way. Cause like just growing up, I kind of always wanted to be really skinny and never ate a lot, thought it was better to like skip meals and stuff like that. And then coming here, and obviously my first year, like I said, I was coming just a couple times a week and not performing that well, just kind of going through the motions. And then between like the open and then meeting with her and learning how to properly fuel your body with like enough food, like was mind blowing for me. But she's like completely like healed my relationship with food and eating and just that whole.
I'm gonna be Jackie for 1 second.
Yeah.
You healed it. She helped you.
Jackie, I was trying to give you all the credit.
I know, but Jackie would say, I didn't heal it. You did.
No, but working with her
Yes.
and like having her as like a sounding board for my previous issues and her helping me build confidence. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but just in being able to prepare food and eat enough. And then now I'm like out here trying to gain lean mass, which is something I never thought I'd be
okay, so
saying.
now we're like, so you guys are both in it, right?
Yeah.
So we know how you got here. Now you're here. You're on the way to becoming a coach. I know you have like 1,000 goals ahead of you, and you've transformed so much. So you did the Open in 2019, left that and said, I don't like the way that went.
Yeah, I was like, I need to be good at this. I need to be good at this.
So how long until you started with Jackie? Because I feel like when you started with Jackie, things really did start to change.
I want to say it was either right before or right after the Open. It was because it was February, I think, when I started with her. It was February or March. So maybe it was right after the Open.
Somewhere in that
time
season.
period, yeah. It was like gearing up for the Open was like so fun and exciting. And then when I was like, God damn, this stuff is hard. Like I need to like actually like try, like put some effort into it.
Yeah, like you're not just going to stumble into a handstand push-up.
You're really not, as much as I would love to. Same with the pull-up.
Yeah.
But you could have went either way for you. Like you could have went like, I'm done with this.
Well, that's
true.
Exactly.
And you chose.
It was more because I really liked the community and I was inspired by other people who were doing really well in these workouts, and I was just like, okay.
I think it is a matter of when you don't like how something went, it is that whole mindset, and it's the CrossFit mindset. What they teach you is like working on your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like that's exciting, not discouraging.
Absolutely.
Like almost the fact that I have gotten my first handstand push-up is like, because you won't get that feeling again of your handstand push-up. But
nothing like it.
you can chase the feeling of other things and other distant movements.
There's always something new. Like the list is endless.
But like, but that chase of wanting to be better than you were yesterday, like that's what the mindset is. But not everybody is in that place. I feel like you have to hit it in the right place at the right time.
For sure, yeah. I think old Julie, like maybe even like how long, like 5-10 years ago, like I would have done that first Open and been like, screw this, I'm not good at it, never gonna be good at it, like I'm done. But that's just, I don't know.
So what do you think? You think it was the community that changed that for you mostly?
Yes. Yeah, because again, having these friendships and having that encouragement, because even though I was sucking, Jackie was my judge for that last workout, which was the thrusters and pull-ups, and at that time I was doing 45-pound thrusters and jumping pull-ups, and she's encouraging me like the whole time, and I'm just like sucking wind. Like,
well, that is like, not an easy way.
It was horrible.
I think also though, knowing that the people around you who can do those things couldn't do those things previously.
Yes.
Like that's where if you can get over the hump of like we were all at, like, man, Jackie and Alicia, like they're so good. If you get over the hump to realize that like 4 years ago they were getting their first whatever that you're watching them do now, like it's nothing. Being in that part of the community and seeing somebody else progress, I think that's where a lot of, I mean, I would like to think that's where a lot of people get the light bulb. I know that's where I've gotten the light bulb. Actually, knowing about Meg's background, which I will have to have her on and talk about, but it wasn't long after she started coaching here that I went on her Instagram, and I had met her in one of the like intro gym days, like very early days. We did like this wad and wine workout.
Oh
and
my
Meg
God,
came.
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do
Meg
remember that.
Meg came and coached. I brought a friend to that, and she thought it was like a drinking thing. Like she thought it was like we were gonna like kind of work out, but mostly drink. And she went to Thirsty Moose with a friend, a different friend beforehand, and had like 4 beers, and then came.
Meg?
No.
Oh, wait a second.
No, sorry.
Your friend.
I'm veered off.
It was like a bring a friend girls' night.
What?
That doesn't sound like Meg. No. Sorry, I'm totally veered off. This is a side note. My poor friend.
Oh, your friend did.
We had this event here. It was like the gym was like maybe 2-3 months old, and they were trying to promote new members. So we had a ladies workout and wine class. And we were gonna do a workout, and then they had like Lainey and Luz brought some stuff over, and we had like some drinks, and it was just like a social half-hour thing. So my poor friend, she went to the bar and she like got like, you know, a bunch of beers and came over here, and then it was a full-blown workout.
It was like a running workout. We
were carrying wall balls around the building, like as a pair.
And,
it was
like,
a partner
running.
workout.
Yeah.
And like, running and trying to carry them around, and then doing all these different
like,
push-ups,
push-ups,
burpees, like all these random things. And my poor friend, she was like,
She's
we're like on like the 6th round or something, and she really pushed herself. She drops the ball. She's like, Shannon, I literally had 4 full beers before this. Like, I'm dying right now. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, poor thing. But anyway, at that event, I met Meg for the first time. And I took one look at Meg, who was like, and my mindset was not good at that time. Like, I was like, you know, only in the pursuit of skinniness. And I was like,
we've all been there.
I was like, look at her. She's so skinny. She must have been skinny her whole life. You don't look like that unless you were born like that. I remember thinking that, looking at her. Right? Isn't that nuts?
Oh, our minds.
And then she became a coach, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months, 8 months later, something like that. And so I really didn't know about her until then. She coached a class, and I friended her on Instagram, and I looked at her Instagram, and she had posted a photo like 6 weeks before. That was a before and after photo of her from before she ever started working out to when she started CrossFit. And then I think there was like a picture of her like at her wedding or something, like, or it might have been from the one-on-one, that there was a picture of her there. And the comparison, and it's not like she was, you know, some crazy different looking person. It was obviously her, but she wasn't as fit as she was now. And I just remember my mind being blown. Like, I was like, whoa, like her first picture kind of looks like me. Like, she wasn't born this way.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing for me. Then I met her, asked her how long she'd been doing CrossFit, and it was like 7 years. And I was like, man, imagine if I just keep with this for 7 years. Like, just come. Like, things will happen. And that's how it's gone. But I think it's, anyway, I think you don't know what somebody comes with and where they've come from. And if you had gone 5 years before, they wouldn't have bought in. But, like, you see that other people have progressed, and that can be very inspiring, for sure.
It is, yeah. Everyone here inspires me, no matter, like, what level they're at, you know? Like, someone new will get like some new movement for the first time, and that's like so inspiring to me, even though I've had that movement for years. Like, it's just,
oh my gosh. Yeah, we interviewed Sydney, who's been a member here for like about a year.
Yep.
And I interviewed her for like the little social media thing that we've been doing. And she was like, oh, I've come to whatever number of classes this year, and I've gotten a bunch of PRs. And I was like, hell freaking Sydney.
Yes, queen!
She's been like really sticking to it.
Yeah, she's committed.
Doing awesome.
Yeah.
The her and Sue rivalry is one of my favorite things hearing about.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, I mean, I think if we want to transition a little bit, I think we should talk a bit about how you guys tackle goals. So now that you are people who are bought in, and I think you should talk like a little bit more about like your mindset and how I know you've been like trying to shift your priorities and things as you go into barbell club, stuff like that. I've watched you get more like positive about it. Seemingly.
After I like
talk about that
she saw me crying one day.
Haven't seen you cry, so you must be doing better.
We've all been there.
Yeah. But I think it would be good information for people to hear about you guys, because I think that you are two people that really put in the work to achieve the things that you have put in. Like, I've watched you guys transform over the years, and I find that very inspiring. And I think it takes a special mindset to stay consistent despite progress diminishing. Like, once you get to a level of fitness that you guys are at, you're not getting PRs every week. So how are you guys tackling goals these days? What are you doing now or looking into 2023? Go, Julie.
Sure.
I can go.
If you know what you're gonna say, I need to, I think, get there a little more. It's a good question.
I actually just had a goal setting session with Meg yesterday. So, and I've had 2 with her. One was a mix of like health and life. And this one, I said I want this to be like fitness focused.
Mhm.
You know, like what my I guess health, but like my gym goals are. So, um, I think you know for me, I have to battle like things that like I have a little bit of a health issue, but I also have to battle like aging things. Like your
Mhm.
body isn't the same when you're 50. I'll be 54 almost. So it's not the same when you're 50 in your 50s versus 30s, even 40s. Like it's
Right.
dramatically different, right? And I never focused on like mobility or any of that stuff. Like I was just like, I want to lift and be strong and look decent, but like, that's like
Preach, girl.
Don't we all?
Preach, girl.
Look
Yeah.
decent.
but being able to move properly, like, is
Yeah.
That
it's
should
like
literally be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Lift, be strong, look decent. I literally want that as the
I will.
Dauntless T-shirt.
Yep. Next merch order.
yeah, yeah, right. So, yeah. So my goals are like I really want to be more mobile. I want to be stronger. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to like. I love barbell club, even though it's you know, my nemesis at the same time because I'm not it's all that skill stuff doesn't come natural for me. It's very, it's high
Me either.
skill.
No,
Yeah, it takes,
not at
but
all.
at the
Yeah.
same time, I think for the most part, most of the world, it doesn't come natural. It's like a few people that may,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
maybe Elliot. It may,
Don't
whatever.
say that to him. I mean, because he works just as hard as everybody else.
Yeah.
He does, but I bet he picked the snatch up way faster than I did.
Yeah, he must have been naturally good at it.
Yeah.
He just threw 200 pounds over
Yeah.
there.
Snatch master.
But I love barbell club because like little teeny bits of like progress is like huge victory. Like I feel
And
like
it is.
Well, and
it's like
working
you
on something
feel-
consistently every week. Like,
yeah,
That's where we all have to be is celebrating those little wins because obviously they're the big like PRs and stuff like that, like getting a bar muscle up or getting a new skill. But like it's so important in like CrossFit to celebrate. Like I didn't bend my arms when I snatched today.
My
like
elbows
it's,
are moving really through
yeah,
today or whatever. Yeah.
or getting like good depth on a squat or like stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's like my goals this year are to continue getting better with the barbells, the Olympic lifts, and I start this squat program.
Hell
and
yeah.
starting the squat pro- it's
To
part-
increase your max lifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get the leg strength back. I tend to be strong, which is odd. I always was strong in my legs, being younger, but now it's just like my upper body stayed strong, and
Mhm.
my legs don't have quite the same, I think, relative, strength. So
I
I
feel
really
ya.
want to get the posterior chain, the whole leg, like everything, just the power. I want to get power. I want to get faster.
Mhm.
I want to be able to move under that bar when I like snatch a heavier weight because that was the one thing that like just get under it.
Yeah.
You don't know. It
So
doesn't.
how-
I
I'm
just-
still
my body
working
doesn't
on
move
that.
that way. Like
Yeah. So, I mean, well, how are you going to go about that? Because I think that's where people need to see that you guys are putting in work. Like, these things aren't just coming to you. So what's the plan?
Right. Okay. So the plan is, so I have to also balance like recuperation, and I think
Right. So I was
that's
going to ask you about like the age stuff, how that's coming into it.
yes. I have to get my sleep. I have to eat a certain way, and I also have to listen to my body. And when I push myself that extra day, sometimes it isn't good. Then I'll end up needing 2 days off. But
Mhm.
I found that like now I just kind of feel it out. Like if I need the next day off, I take the next day off. And I've been just taking one day whenever I feel like I need it, which is like 2 to 3 workouts and then a day off usually. Once in a while, I'll get 4 days in a row.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but for the most part, that. So I'm also gonna this year like maybe do one less class and incorporate the squat program
Mhm.
because yeah, I may I'll just see how I feel with it. I'm gonna put it in. Maybe I'll do the class, but I won't go so hard for the class and then do the squat
That's
after
more of
or
what
vice.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, like it just we'll see how I feel. I have to listen. I have to do the whole listening to my body and then and
The
I'm
whole listening to my body.
gonna
That
What do
old-
you mean by the
that
whole
old
listening to my
chestnut.
body? Yeah. So like, I mean, I'm listening to you be like, oh, gotta take another rest day, and I'm like, I have no problems taking rest days because I'm like, I feel like I'm like the reverse issue. It's like I would take all the rest days and blame it on listening to my body.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I could lean into that side of myself for sure. Oh, there's sirens going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, there's sometimes me coming to the gym, more often than not, my motivations are one of two things. One, I just want to come talk to you guys before I have to work. Like literally, that gets me into the gym a few times out of 10.
Oh, I agree
And
with
then
that.
the other few times out of 10 is like, I'll just go, I don't want to go back to an older version of myself that never went to the gym. I don't have to go hard. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
go at all, but at least I'll go and I don't have to go hard. And usually that gets me in the door, and then I end up in a workout head neck to neck with Julie and killing myself to try and beat her by one friggin' rep.
That's what I'm here for.
But, at least that gets me into the gym. And same thing with like, well, I don't really feel like going, but it looks like it's an easy-ish day and I can go hang out with Regina and Julie. Like, they're signed up. This will be a fun class. That'll get me in. And again, I still push myself because you guys are pushing, but I really do rely on the pulse of the classroom for a lot of my pushing myself and motivation. So what makes it hard for you to take a rest day? Like what is it in your mind that's going, oh, I don't want to take another rest day?
I just love it. Like I look at the workouts and I'm like,
you don't want to miss out.
I don't want to miss out on a good workout. And then there's other workouts that maybe I don't love as much, but I need them. Like
they'll make you better. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know I need this. Like
I see.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't want to miss out. This, I have to say.
So you have to add like another factor to your decision making now about whether or not you're going to go to class. It's not just like, oh, let me look at the workout. Oh, I want to do that. That's fun. As you get older, you also have to take into the consideration like, is this good for my body? Like all around, not just like, oh, I'm going to work on cardio, but is this going to actually be detrimental to my body?
Yeah. And I get excited about who's going to be in the class. Like we have fun. It's just it is like they say, we want it to be like the best hour of your day. It's like literally
by
the best
far,
hour
not even close.
Yeah. I know all of you people who are gonna have Regina as your coach. You just got your classes like you're gonna have a good energy like right off the bat. So I'm excited.
Good vibes for sure. Yeah, me too.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna be swapping out exactly with Maria, but I know Maria's classes are used to her like dancing around and being like silly goofy, which I was texting her the other day. I was like, they're going to be in for a treat because I don't see you like goofing around and dancing.
I do.
Yeah, it depends. I know it depends.
Yeah, maybe.
It depends on the vibe. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. So if I end up coaching in the evenings, it's like a group of people that I may have met once or twice here and there.
Yeah,
but I may not know them all.
I was just about to name drop a bunch of people that.
Yeah,
Caitlin, Eric.
No, we came at Brian and I came at nights at one point too. So you see some people that'll come in the morning and at night.
Yeah.
Some random.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? But yeah, no, it's the best hour. It is, and I hope to do that for to make it a good one for.
No, I'm sure
you definitely will. Yeah.
So Julie, tell us about some of your goals and how you're tackling those, because I think again, so you gotta put in the work, and I think you've gotten really good at doing that. It's kind of crazy to see how much you commit to things. So
thank you.
Tell me what that.
I am committed.
Tell me your ways. What is the secret?
My biggest thing, I am a routine queen. I live by a routine, and that's how I have no issue getting to class every day that I'm scheduled because it is part of my routine. And if I don't come, like Jackie, I think, was telling me, she's like, you should skip a class and do a squat. And I was like, no, I can't skip a class.
Julie registers for classes a month in advance.
I do.
Just in case you thought you were behind. You are.
I'm always going to show up. Like, I hate missing it. And that's the same thing, kind of like Regina says, like some of the days, like if I'm feeling like a little more tired, it's still good to move my body. I still feel better for coming here. So, like, I'll just go lighter on the barbell or go slower in the cardio. Like, not every day is gonna be, like, max out. So that's how I listen to my body. I usually don't take a full rest day, but I'm also in my lower 30s, so I do, I guess, probably recover maybe a little better.
I don't know.
And
My
then
HRV is pretty low.
triggered.
No, that wasn't very nice.
We're working on it.
I'm allowed to.
Yeah, you can sass.
Make fun, right?
I'm like obsessed with it. Oh my god. Cold therapy I think is helping. Yeah, and I'll be also going, some of you may know, I'm like flex sober. So like I
What
drink
does that
some
mean?
I've
Flex
never
sober?
heard
Oh,
that.
it's like the new term. So it's like I drink alcohol sometimes, but the majority of the time I prefer not to. So, and I enjoy non-alcoholic. But so I've been more flex sober this past year, and the year before that I was more
Interesting. What
completely
is that?
sober. Yeah. So it's more like, just because I'm out at a bar, it doesn't mean I'm gonna drink. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So
or you're not coming home and having a glass of wine after work every day.
yeah, I don't like usually drink at home at all. So anyways, but I'm going full dry up until the open starting in January. So that will help me obviously keep my like sleep in check. I'll be feeling good for class every day, no excuses there. Mobility 5 times a week gets you, I can't say enough about doing regular mobility. It keeps your body feeling good. You just move better, like
So,
lifts, just everything.
Yeah, she's
What are you
inspiring
doing?
with that.
What do you do? I know. I mean, Julie Dufour is just the picture. You are the routine queen. You are. So what? When you say doing mobility, say more.
So I do pliability, formerly known as ROMWAD.
So it's
And
an app.
it is an app. Yeah, there's obviously all the free videos on Dauntless Academy YouTube, and those are great too. I've just been using ROMWAD for a couple years now, and I love it. And
Routine.
it cost me like $14 a month, which also helps because I'm paying for it, so I'm gonna do it as opposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do the Dauntless videos every now and again if I just want like a quicker routine, because pliabilities tend to be a little bit longer. But yeah, I try to do those 5 to 6 times a week, at least 4 I feel good about. Try to do it before bed with like a cup of tea or something. And that just helps me like feel my best, move my best. And it also helps strengthen certain areas too, like holding those poses and stuff like that. So that's a big part of it. And also, like Regina said, skill sessions and goal sessions with the coaches.
So for specific new things that you want to do or
Yep.
PRs that you want to get, because that's like sobriety, eating well, coming to class consistently, and doing mobility. That's just going to help you be like generally fitter.
Yes.
Right? But you guys also really tackle your specific goals well.
Right.
I think. So talk a bit more about that.
So so I'll be doing, again, barbell club every Sunday, like no excuses, like I'll be there. I love it, and that helps me definitely get better every week, just with technique, especially because we're not usually going super super heavy, so just really honing in on that good technique. And then adding a squat session in. I've been doing those Saturdays before or after class, which has seemed to work out really well. So if you want to join me for that, but I'm hoping to maybe start doing that 2 times a week in January, but that will just have to, depending on how my schedule, we'll feel that out a little bit. But I got my first bar muscle up in August. In case anybody forgot, I only posted the video 25 different places and continue
She
to.
got it, folks.
I got it.
And we also are reminding you on the Dauntless podcast that Julie got a muscle up.
But
play the clip.
but Julie is like the best at doing all the skills and drills prior to getting to actually doing the movement. And so then when she does the movement, it's like impeccable. It's like,
yeah, well, Julie
like,
does all skills and drills, not
I
just
do.
those related to the goals that she has, but literally every single one.
I love drills. I love them so much. Because you just,
if it's for progress, it is for Julie.
it is, well, it's so true, because like we'll do these like skills, and I'm just like, I see how, because I've seen how they can be so helpful.
They
Like I've
do
done the
work.
skill sessions with Meg for bar muscle ups, which I'm restarting in January because I need to re-hone in on that skill a little bit, and I need guidance from Meg to get that confidence back to get me over the bar again. So I'll be doing that every week in January, Monday after class. So because I'd like to, if there are bar muscles in the open, I would like to be able to get one to kind of put me into that next level, since it's a skill I now have. But yeah, no, and yes, skills and drills, doing all those, and like just doing those exercises after class, staying after class for 15, 20 minutes and just doing those, you just get stronger and they just build upon themselves.
Yeah.
And it's how you do
So,
it, folks.
yeah, I mean, so you're extremely regimented,
Mhm.
and like I watch you after class, and like before I've even thought about like, oh, do I want to do my extra pull-ups today? Julie's like already 3 rounds into her, toes to bar practice or whatever it is that you're doing, butterfly pull-ups. So do you ever struggle with like the mindset of doing it, or like just wanting to be lazy? I don't know if I have the right words, but sometimes like I get bogged down with goals and achieving them by the like, I don't know if it's not believing in myself or just feeling like too far from it, not motivated by it anymore.
Okay.
Like how do you
Totally.
stay in that regimen?
So motivation is fleeting. We all know
Right.
this. Like you can't, I'm not motivated to do things all the time. Like very not often I am not motivated. It's the consistency that you have to stick to. You just have to be consistent. If you're consistent, and that's again, not every day I'm like doing stuff after class and like nailing it and feeling like I'm making a ton of progress, but I'm going through the motions, I'm doing it, and no matter what, the fact that I know I'm getting better and the fact that I'll feel better after knowing I did it is kind of like my biggest like mindset thing.
Okay.
Because yeah,
Like
I
so
guess
you're
if that
you're
makes
like
sense.
deep in that neural pathway. Like
Yeah,
that you're just doing it.
So does it motivate you, Shan, to seeing her doing her drills to stick with it and stay and practice your pull-ups?
Yeah, I definitely it does. Most of the time it does. I think most of the time it does. I just have I have a lot of I'm going to say this without trying to sound crazy, but like I have the voices in my head that are like don't bother, or it's not going to matter if you don't do it today, you'll do it tomorrow, or what's one more day going to hurt if you don't start today, or like those sorts of
yeah,
just negative mindsets. Like it's easy for
Mm.
me to creep in, and I think I kind of like go in and out of like an achievement based motivation. I have a
Mhm.
lot of like
totally.
if I achieve some things, I start to really get excited and want to do more, and then I'll get in that groove, and I've been in those grooves, but I have those, parts of me that kind of pull me out of that groove from time to time. So, it is mostly motivating, and it does make me go, if I want to get a pull up, I have to be like Julie. Like I know
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
have
And
to do.
it's so not fun to work on, so I get it. Like I went through the same thing when I first got my pull up. But I also so you have these you're saying you have these voices in your head, which like everyone has that. Like absolutely.
I know, but you say that to somebody who's never heard it that way. Like I said that to my husband once, and he was like, "What?" Like I cannot even tell you how much Michael is like the most like emotionally sound and like assured person. Like he was just
Can't
raised
relate.
correctly. I know, could not be me. Could never be me. Like he is just so. I love to tell this story. This is how my husband is. When we were 16, we started dating when we were 16, 17. We got into a stupid argument like a couple months into dating, and I was starting to say stupid shit because I grew up around a lot of volatile stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, you're being an a-hole, and calling him names and saying I hate you and stuff like that. 16, right? As any 16-year-old first love
Very
might
normal.
do in an emotional time. My 17-year-old at the time husband looked at me and said, hey, we can be angry, but let's not be mean to each other. Let's not swear. And thank
That's amazing.
God or
That's-
whoever was
yeah.
looking
That
at me in my brain in that moment, because I looked at him and went, I thought, that's an option? Like, okay. I like that option a lot.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and from then on,
That's
17
amazing.
on, like, he's never called me a bitch. Like, he's never said anything bad to me. But he's just, like, such a light switch person. So I remember saying him time and time, like, yeah, I just have that voice in my head that's like, eat the cake, but don't eat the cake. But if you don't eat the cake, you're being too regimented. And if you do eat the cake, you're a piece of shit. And he's like,
Oh
What?
boy.
You have voices in your
Oh my gosh.
And they're really mean.
I know, and he just has this like sound-wise central voice.
Yeah.
that, that is
Like
supposed to be-
level-headed, like.
Well, that is supposed
Yeah.
to be groomed in you, like that is like who you are at your core, like making decisions. But when you are somebody who's a bit more scattered emotionally, I think it can be hard to not let those other perspectives and parts of yourself in. So I definitely have those that compete with my focus on working on goals, for sure.
So I think this is another stupid kind of thing that's helped me, but I like having mantras also to kind of
love a
replace
mantra.
those voices in my head. And these are like
That's
my
smart.
2 favorites. One is hashtagged in my Instagram bio, nothing for free.
Ooh,
You
that's a
don't
good
get
one.
anything you don't work for. And then my other one is literally one from what the hell is it called? The BPN supplements. Their tagline is "Go one more," and I like latched onto that. I'm like, I love that. Like, don't stop there. Go do the extra thing. It's gonna pay off. So
I like that.
There's a bit of a mindset training that you can do with
Mhm.
things like that, mantras or
Yeah,
I
mantras
call
are
them
good.
declarations or
Yeah.
decrees or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of your things that push you?
I would come up with one a lot of times in different years. I'd be like, okay, this year I'm gonna come up with one year was I make good decisions for myself.
Ooh, nice.
I like that.
That was a biggie for
It's
me.
very like
Yeah.
earnest and yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
'Cause-
I mean, I think that's important in our world, because when you are trying to focus on health and wellness, a lot of outside forces are playing against you, and even the people that love you don't understand. So I really like that a lot.
I
Yeah,
do
you can
too.
apply it to
I
like pretty
make
much
good
anything.
decisions for myself.
With your finances, like you can apply it to your faith, or you can apply it to how you are with your like relationships. Like it's just and health, of course.
Because
health
I've
and
definitely
fitness.
said to myself, I make bad decisions for myself before. So yeah, let's try flipping the script on that for 2023.
Well, that's like we've been talking loosely about manifestation too. Like I had a very deep conversation at Christmas with my sister about this, who's like reading a scientific book about manifestation, and it was a little much for me. But the concept of like putting yourself in that place of I make good decisions for myself is like, and now you already are because you think that. You know what I mean? Like by putting that thought out there in front of you, you're already not halfway there, but you're on the path to making good decisions for yourself by thinking that thought.
Yeah. I do think also
So
when
true.
you speak it, I mean, it's kind of like The Secret, that book or whatever, but it's also, I think it's also biblical because I believe in the Bible, that when you speak something, it does go out. There's a frequency to it, a vibration. It goes back into your subconscious. So it's thinking about it like that. Have you ever heard of the book Think and Grow Rich? Like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
yeah.
I
And
never read it.
it's old. It was like written. The first version I think was written in the 30s or something like that, but they've revised it over. But thinking, but also speaking. And I used to commute. I don't commute anymore, but I'd be in its commutes and I'd take my 45 minutes to an hour commute and do these a lot. Sometimes I'd be like yelling them in the car. Like I'd have a whole bunch of stuff that I would say because
they say like like people who it feels all woo woo and stuff, but like you like say to yourself in the mirror like I love you, like say it to yourself, like
Yeah.
when you're trying to like heal your relationship with yourself or with your body or whatever, like putting that out into the world is meaningful whether you believe it in that moment or not.
Yeah, I am strong and powerful. Like
Right.
like you can't even say that I make good decisions for yourself. Like that's a good one for pretty much anybody. But like getting rid of those negative thoughts, like just canceling them. Like they need to.
It's essential during hard workouts too. Right?
Oh yeah,
do you guys have
that's
mantras for those? Because that is one place where I have a mantra when I get really negative in a workout. If I can manage to say to myself, "I can do this," like if I can pull that voice from behind and say, "I can do this," then I can bring it back. Sometimes I can bring that voice, or I start with that voice, and I'm okay. But yeah, do you have like
me to myself
things?
is during workouts? It's bad. I don't even want to say what I say to myself like out loud. Like
Yeah, what do you say to yourself?
it's not good. It's
Really?
like,
Really?
I know.
Even
Like when
during like stuff where you're killing it.
Oh no, because if I'm killing it, it's like this. I kind of say like, this is why I do this. Will be kind of the
Okay,
thing to
but
like
when
keep
you're
pushing.
suffering.
But if I am absolutely suffering, it's like, what, like, what the f, kind of like, you should be able to do this, almost kind of thing. Like, why aren't you
really?
better at this type of like? Yeah,
we gotta change
it's
that.
Yeah, it's something to work on.
Oh,
Yes.
mine is in the suffering workouts. Mine, like, literally, I start like making like the friggin' list of reasons why I'm suffering so badly. Like, you ate like shit last night.
Yep,
and
that
you,
too.
Oh God.
you didn't go to bed on time. And I'm like making the list. There was one time where it was so bad that literally Meg came over and she was like, I can see you blaming yourself. Like, I can see it on your face.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, I fucking suck. Like, I was
Yeah.
getting so mad at myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's yeah.
Meg did. She's probably watching this, or when she watches it,
She's gonna be meal prepping.
She's gonna be like, I gotta get in here and say. But I was doing burpees. It was like that. I don't know if it was that like 100 burpee workout or whatever we did. The 7 minute.
The 7 minute.
Those, yeah.
Yeah, where
7
you
minutes.
just have to stay freaking composed.
Yeah, I was going hard, and I told her after. I said, I kept telling myself, don't stop, which you think would be a positive thing, but she was like, your subconscious hears don't.
Yes.
First.
Or it hears stop. It hears stop. It hears stop. So whatever. It was like hearing the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So you should change
Keep
it
going.
to like, I can do this. Like, I
Keep
will do this.
moving,
Like, keep moving.
going,
yeah, everything that's positive. And so I've shifted that up.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I don't think I'm as bad as I used to be, but
I really like the nothing is free, because that's the nut of staying 15 minutes after class.
Yep.
And doing it. Like, nothing is free.
Yeah. You don't just magically like get things. You know?
My mantra for pull-ups needs to be like,
shit costs money.
yeah, something like that. Like, pull-ups suck until they don't, or something like that.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I need that. I need that energy. I like that a lot. Oh my goodness.
It also helps I think I'll do, like, when I'm working on certain things, I'll kind of pair it with something I'm good at with something I'm not. Like, if I'm working on like chest to bar, I have a couple like exercises that I'm good at and make me feel really good, and then some other ones so I'll try to incorporate like both into it, so it's like I'm not just like beating down on myself.
That's a good idea.
That's good. All right. Well, I'm mindful that the two of you have to go to a sauna this evening.
Yeah.
Which I can't go because I got my nails done today. And last time I got my nails done and then I went to the sauna the same day, they peeled off instantly.
Oh,
my
really?
poor girl, she redid them for me. She's so sweet.
Oh.
But I'm like, I can't go to the sauna today. Sorry.
Next time.
I'm also doing lots of like home organization projects. So
nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's
I
a good
think
productive.
I think we should end with a couple of random questions from the random question box.
All right.
Okay.
Gosh,
So
okay.
these are just getting to know you.
Getting to know you.
Member things.
Getting
So
to know
hopefully there's nothing triggering here.
Yeah, like that's be
Oh,
careful.
this is good considering our location. If you received an extra burrito when ordering at your local shop, would you do something? Would you say something?
Oh yeah. Well,
You
okay.
would?
So no, this I'll take that back. If I like brought it home and saw I had an extra one, then I wouldn't do anything.
Right, so
If I
timing
was
matters.
still there, like opening it, I'd be like, "Oh, I don't think this was mine," or something. I think that would depend. But I wouldn't drive back to like give them the burrito back. Sorry.
It depends how
That's
close
my
it is.
burrito.
I would feel a little guilty. I have a sense of guilt and stuff like that.
Have you ever left anything underneath in a grocery cart that you didn't check out? And did you go back inside when you got to your car?
I don't think that's honestly ever happened to me.
It's never happened to you.
But I would bring it back for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm too honest about that.
Ooh. Is it ever okay to snoop through your spouse's belongings? Brian, Eric, Michael, you can shut this off right now. We've never snooped through your stuff.
Scouts.
I've only been with my husband since I was 16, so never once. Not a one.
This is hard because I don't consider it like.
What
when
is
I'm
snooping?
doing-
Let's
what
define
is snooping?
Especially when you live together and like
It's-
what's
yeah.
mine is yours.
Because
Yeah.
I clean up so much of that man's stuff. Like I'll be organizing,
Well,
cleaning
let's
up.
talk.
putting
Well, then
stuff
what about
away.
his phone?
Oh, I wouldn't touch his phone.
You've
I,
never
I'm
touched
in
his
Brian's
phone.
phone all the time.
Well,
Well, you use his Instagram to
Yeah.
do your own bidding.
You know, what
like
though?
I'll go on it to like look for a picture or take a picture, but I don't like read his text messages.
I don't
I
read
have
his
no
text
desire to
messages.
do that.
But I think, yeah, and I don't snoop because I have no reason to. I
Right.
think it's where you feel that level of trust. And
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if I didn't trust him, like I wouldn't be with him. I guess.
Exactly.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
snoop for like some people would snoop to find out. I'm like, no, it's just obviously a reason why I don't trust or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
hasta la vista.
Yeah, there's
That's not worth my energy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I trust Eric with everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like in college, it was like, or no, right after college, Michael was using Reddit like all the time. And I was like, what the hell is he looking at on Reddit? And I wanted to know. And I like went on his laptop or his
Bench
phone or
workout.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was literally like Magic the Gathering and other like work related stuff, like just stuff that was complete and workout stuff that I was just like, I literally have no concerns.
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
not a thing
okay,
to worry
cool.
about. I was just like, why is he on Reddit all the time? Yeah, well, that's what he's into. So.
Not looking at other women on Reddit.
Okay, well, so far you guys seem you guys seem morally sound. This is actually good. All right, so the 7 deadly sins. Are you more likely to be guilty of gluttony, lust, rage, jealousy, sloth, greed, or pride? So of the 7 deadly sins, what's your big one? Gluttony, lust, rage, jealousy, sloth, greed, or pride? Lust. No, I'm just kidding.
Different times in my life.
I was gonna say yes. Like
Oh, really?
I don't know. I think everybody can be greedy from time to time, but I don't see it as like a deadly sin way that I've been greedy.
What do you mean? What do you
How are
mean
you
greedy?
greedy? I don't.
Yeah, how are you
Yeah,
greedy?
I don't know.
Seem
Am I
greedy
greedy?
to me?
I don't see you as greedy.
No.
If you
Maybe
wanna be
sloth,
successful,
because I
that
can
doesn't
be
mean you're
really friggin' lazy. Like I can easily.
Okay, we just
spend a
talked
day
about
doing
your
nothing.
regimented life.
But in my regimented life, I regimen time for sitting in my
I do
bed.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
but
though.
that's-
I don't think that's.
That's
lazy,
I
though.
was thinking about that actually because I've been listening to these other podcasts and I've been like, I feel like this entire podcast is like the journey of me thinking about being a mom, like thinking about having kids, like from like it's like
You'll look
literally-
back on it fondly.
It comes
No,
into
really.
everyone.
Yeah, it seriously does. But I was thinking about how I'm like organizing my house and I love being productive. And I know that that's something that was like ingrained in me growing up to like when you do a job, do it right the first time. Got to be productive. Laziness is the worst. Like those are some of the things that I was hearing.
Mhm.
But sometimes relaxing is just as productive as what you would think being productive is. Like
Right.
it's
True.
so that time is very important.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's also all by comparison, right? So sloth to you might look like the perfect
Sure.
lifestyle to somebody else.
Yeah, like I wouldn't consider it like a deadly sin of me being lazy, but like yeah, I'll like
No.
sometimes be laying down being like there's like 10 other things I could be doing. So I don't know.
But you probably need the time to lay down. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've changed mine 3 times since you started.
Okay, all right. What is
Since
it?
I was working that all out in my head out
know.
loud.
I'd probably say pride.
Pride.
Because I think pride is like in things that you don't even realize it is.
I would
Like,
yeah.
Always
Mm.
like either feeling like you're right about things when you don't know you're not always right,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or even like I believe like self-deprecation can be prideful because it can be like
Interesting.
when you don't like yourself or you because I believe like we're God's creation and He didn't create us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
He didn't
I
create
like
us.
that, yeah.
So that would be prideful of you to be making fun of God's work, basically.
or just self-hate when some people like
Yeah.
don't like
I guess
se-
I have a pride problem.
Yeah.
well, when they have lack of self-confidence, that actually can be a form of pride. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so,
that's an interesting way to look
but
at
I
it.
think that I don't think it's like that we're evil because of it per se, but it's like
Right.
stuff that
No,
isn't
it's
really
just-
the best. If you have if you don't like yourself because of the way you look or your imperfections or whatever, like that's
Mm.
not like we're not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, that's a little bit of like jealousy too in there though. Like I feel like when you're like comparing
comparing
yourself to other
yourself,
people.
Comparison
different,
is
yeah.
the thief of joy.
It is.
That's I have to tell myself that a lot. Not a lot.
I don't
sometimes.
like that at all. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't like comparing. I don't like being
And it's
jealous.
hard. It's hard not to, especially all of us working out like here together and being like, oh, like she's so good at this. I wish I was that good at it. But it's like,
Yeah.
But that's why I said
we're
that
on
to
our
you.
own journeys. Yeah.
In
it's
the
all
water
good.
the other day, I said, you don't like feel like I'm, because I'll be like, what are you doing, Julie, for weights? Like I'm always kind of like
no.
checking up because we're somewhat close in some things.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to see if she's going to really push herself that day or whatever. And I'm always like, what are you doing? I'm like, but you don't look at
No, it makes me feel good.
yeah,
makes
like,
me feel
don't look at it that
prideful.
I'm trying to compare myself or
Yeah,
like
no.
beat you or like whatever.
Well, it's like Shannon and I will do this like same things. Like
Yeah, it's sort of like you look at it as like are we pushing ourselves today? What's the
Right.
energy? Like because I feel like we all kind of have those like, hey, we're just moving today, or you know we have our different days, but a lot of times we like have similar seasons where we're like, all right, let's push it today. Or
Well,
the
yeah,
workout looks fun.
the
or,
healthy encouragement and competition and stuff, I think, is like totally.
yeah,
totally good.
there's truly nothing that I love more than a workout that has like let's say burpees and like barbell cycling. Because or even dumbbell cycling.
Yep.
Because Julie can beat me on burpees or like sit-ups. Whatever. Elliot wants us to wrap it up. Julie can beat me on burpees or sit-ups every time. Like doesn't matter what the rep scheme is, doesn't matter what came before or after it. I mean, not so much anymore because I've given her all my tips. But Julie I can usually beat Julie on a barbell cycle.
My cycling is getting better,
Your
but
cycling
you're
is
still
getting better.
faster.
It depends
you're still
on the
faster.
weight. Like if the weight is like a little bit heavier, for you I can just cycle. But when Julie and I are like Julie's ahead on burpees, and then I get ahead on snatches, and then she gets ahead on burpees.
So
it's the best.
it's exhilarating.
I know it keeps you going. Like
it
you
does.
work
Like
out.
I because I left to my own devices. Like I won't force myself to redline. You know what I mean? Like I won't get to that place of like
Oh yeah.
pushing, like you're breathing sweat out your mouth. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But when in a workout like that, head to head with Julie,
Yeah.
there's nothing I won't do.
Well, that's the best. One of the best parts of like all of this, because I would, if I did these workouts by myself, like sure I do them, but would I like try as hard as I do when like I'm around other people or other people are watching me do it? So
Yeah. So it's like there's a difference between comparison and competition, friendly competition, and I think that's like the line that we all kind of walk.
Yeah, I think we're all good with it.
My 7 deadly sin is definitely gluttony. I love to splurge. I love to do luxurious things. I love to eat. Like I like to be.
Well, then I could say that for
Does it
myself
make you
too.
feel good after? Like, do you do it and it's
Oh,
okay?
Regina, we do not have enough time for that.
All right, but yeah, no, we could get pretty like
Next time on the Dauntless podcast.
Seriously. Yikes.
Shannon's gluttony
Yikes.
series.
Yeah. No, I get it depends on the thing. It depends on the thing. And it depends on the situation. But I mean, if I'm being consistently gluttonous, you can imagine what that looks like.
Right,
you know.
sure.
So I think I have bouts of that too, where it's like some of those parts come out to play.
Does it come out when there's like a holiday and you go, well, it's the holiday, so I can be.
It's actually, it's the opposite. I feel like consistently over the holidays, the last like 5 or 6 years, like the holiday times have been times that I've been like, either like, I'm just going to enjoy this one day and move on, like healthy about it, like no big deal.
Mhm.
Or like, especially like in college, like actively on a diet at Thanksgiving, like cannot eat, have like, you know, I've got family members making gluten-free options for no damn reason. Like, you know, like, it's like, come on. I don't need to be doing this. So consistently during the holidays have honestly been more of a thing. Like I was telling Julie, I know we're going to need debrief minutes. So we're going to.
Yeah, what time?
We have 5 minutes.
we gotta
5
leave.
minutes. Yeah, we
leave
got to
in like
get.
5 minutes.
But we yeah, like over the holidays we sat down for Christmas dinner and like instantly the first thing my dad says is, I'm not going to have a dinner roll because there's enough carbs and everything else. And it's just like those types of messages at holidays are always ever present. And
Oh, yeah.
as, over the years, like as I've been somebody who's either like unhealthily focused on diet, that is like extremely triggering, and then you like really portion out your Thanksgiving meal or whatever, like just like made those days not a gluttonous day. Or, even when I am healthily thinking about it, because those messages are still there, you're like, oh yeah, you're right. Actually, there's a lot of carbs. Why don't I try to make plate method? And it's like, I wouldn't be doing that if it weren't for some of those points of view coming out. So, yeah, I don't know.
We could have a whole podcast on the 7 deadly sins.
That was a really great. That was a really
that was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we could talk about that for days.
We could unpack each one.
Let's do this very last one, because I think you can give a yes or no answer. If a friend's phone accidentally called you, would you listen to the conversation if they were talking about you?
Yeah.
Regina's
Oh, wow.
I know. What are these questions? I mean, yes.
Yeah,
100%.
they accidentally call, sorry, that's on you.
Oh, I would be calling that mofo out so bad.
Oh, yeah, I'd be calling them out, but I would listen, too. Like, I'd be like, okay, let's see where we're at.
Listen first and be like, really? Seriously?
Just hear the truth come out,
Yeah. Okay,
so
we'd all listen.
Or I would listen, actually, and then I would just cut it off. Like, you're out.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what they were talking about.
Yes.
If they were like, Regina's the best.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you'd be like, we're getting coffee tomorrow, and my treat. All right. Well,
I'm just going in that negative direction.
Yeah. I know. Naturally, it's easy to do. Well, this was great. I hope you guys had a good time.
Fun,
yeah.
I think we got more comfortable as it went on, so that was good.
Agreed.
Anything you'd like to say before we close out?
No. See you next time.
Yes, we'll definitely
be
have
back.
you guys on again.
Yeah,
we'll have
really
to have
enjoyed
Regina on after she's coached some classes and can tell us how that's been like.
Coaching tell all.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Regina tell all. Good luck 5 p.m. classes. You're going to be on blast.
Yeah,
All right,
I say nothing. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Shan.
Thank you for listening to the Dauntless podcast. If you liked this, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Comment below with your thoughts. What 7 deadly sin do you, succumb to most? And what's your mantra? Got some mantras going. I like this.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Shan.